Okay, back again for your viewing pleasure. Whatever, just mostly because I'm bored. I figured I would jump back into this. And just show you how simple it is. This is very reminiscent of well, it is basically a copy-paste of the Butler's chase later on in Majora's Mask. Only this is much simpler. It's not timed, because there's no second run-through in Majora's Mask. But you have to do it in a certain time to get the heart piece, and the rupees will always mislead you. You're going to want to follow the fire. I've done this so long, just walk right into the fire. The first time you can only get the hook shot anyway, so it's not essential to really do this within X amount of time. It's just a good indicator of where you're at. And there, you'll hear the clicking in the background, and that's a good indication that you need to hurry your ass up. Follow the fire. Which way do you go? Okay. And he always goes to the left. I'm actually I wish there wasn't a timer here so you could kind of get lost and explore. Because, you hear the reed groans in the background. I kind of always have wondered what's going on in the background. But to get the hook shot initially, that's very simple. And I just think it's funny that he dies and he's able to float when he's just so damn slow when he's alive. But, and I've always found it, I don't really know who was behind the programming design and who allocated the hook shot to Dampy, but it's a staple here, I guess we just kind of accept it, but just really think about, why the hell and how he got a hold of the hook shot. I think it would have been a cool little side, just more lore added there to just know how he got the damn thing. Alrighty. So this is how we will get into the Forest Temple. And to be honest, I like that in Majora's Mask, they kind of combine the one hook shot into a singular item. Like later on, the initial hook shot has a pathetic range. Like it barely goes any in front of you whatsoever. You have to be right on top of whatever it is you're trying to hook shot onto. But they combine the two items together, the hook shot and the long shot, as a singular pickup, and I think that's great. It leaves room for more items. Okay, so what we're going to do here, if you're not paying attention, you'll immediately miss this heart piece here. So we're going to just kind of and hop on over here. And if you want to make that really hard on yourself, you can play the Song of Storms. And just make that thing go fucking crazy. I'm kind of curious to see if I can make this jump like this. It's actually not that fast. If you just wanted more of a challenge and you wanted to make yourself a little seasick, you can still totally make it. It's crazy. Okay. So from here, if we're going to just follow the linearity of the story, because I've really lost touch with exactly what I need to do. Okay. Is that cuckoo hatched yet? Okay, we're going to initiate as much of the Big Goron's quest as we can. And I think it's a little sad because if you pay attention in the story, like, you don't see Talon ever really interact with Malon ever again. But the way we get him back to the ranch, just kind of hover here for his model hover there, is to do the Big Goron side quest. And I find it a little odd that they don't... Well, do they? Yeah, they kind of retexture him. And whoa! Hello there! Ho! Yet another unfortunate retexturing. Yeah, they do up-res some of those with Lila. God, that one, the bearded lady in particular. Ooh, not a good transition from that earlier area. So this will help us kill the most birds at once. Oh, I made it funny, but let's see. This is the exact same thing, and then you basically, if you haven't completed the opponent thing, that kind of leads you back there, but you have that cuckoo now, and you're going to want to give this back to Anju over here, and she'll give you the blue cuckoo to take to the forest back with you. So, I'm just gonna kind of pay attention to the dialogue because I just know this from memory, but it all just seems completely random and not particularly intuitive. But and you can't tell. Okay, I'm starting to see a lot of that. My brother must have been very lonely, and I guess the Kakariko village is just one big conglomerate of people that are related to one another. I don't know. Do I wanna? Because we have that blue fire here that I got when I was a child. Just to free up the bottles. I don't know. I don't need healing items, I don't feel like. And I have 2 bottles to catch fairies if I want, so we'll just make a beeline straight for the forest. And I figure Epona would still be here. We'll hop on Epona. And I went back and I watched that Game Grumps playthrough one last time. And it really just seemed like, dang, he's just having a good time. And that was the whole deal. So I'm done with that. I just kind of wanted to play through the game for myself. Just have a little fun. I'm alone, I'm bored. So, whatever. So it'll be good to have this footage later on. I can just kind of talk over it if I want to do an in-depth analysis of my own. Yeah, if it's not clue enough, then Kojiro will crow here, leading you to think that you might need to do something with it. But as you can see, the Deku Forest has been completely overrun. And you can still get Deku Sticks as an adult, which makes no sense. And I like being able to see that retexture up close, but yeah, all the Kokiri are hiding inside now. And this is one of the good instances where, you know, you can actually reverse the evil that's going on, because, you know, you can't melt Zora's domain. You can kind of restore Goron City, but not fully. Here's our reward for that one bean plant. Some of these bean plant locations can be complete bust. Did I not plant the bean here? I could have sworn that I did. This explains why I have 2 left, but I have a cheat turned on, so we can essentially just float up here. But this is your reward for planting that bean, and I think that respawns. But whatever. We're not supposed to be here. Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead, I think, and get the poacher's knife, and that'll give us access to blue potions. But this is the brother character. Go ahead and give him Kojiro, and this will start our one-time thing. We will be timed on our way over here. And I think I'll cut this off right when we get to the forest temple. Okay, this will disappear, and it's an odd mushroom. Like this is sure to spoil quickly. Take it to the Kakariko potion shop quickly. And okay, we're gonna test this out and see if this makes us a little bit faster. This should be a shortcut now, so we don't have to go through the loading zone of... Just kind of shave off a few seconds there. Yeah, that was faster. Cool. Never tried that before. Okay. But there's a potion shop. I guess it really goes down to if you've been investigating the Kakariko village up to this point. But there is a potion shop there, but it's not the one that you need. You need to go to technically the one that's closed, and through the other potion shop in the back, which you wouldn't have any idea existed unless you double exploration. So just faster on that. Pretty sure it needs to be daytime to go into that potion shop, so I'm just gonna hop off the opponent and then make it daytime. And really, the whole Big Goron's quest is completely mitigated by having Epona. Because you can do all that on foot, but it's just Hyrule Field is made so much smaller when you have Epona. If you warp with any of these timed trade items, they will immediately spoil, so just something to think about if you do consider doing this later on down the road. Okay, you think this is the potion shop, so of course you could try to give it to this guy, but it's not what you need to go through here. And go to this potion shop, and it's really, as far as I know, there's no indication that this is a potion shop at all. I like that. That was always kind of a neat effect in the original version, but I like the up-resing of the textures there. Kind of makes that look a little bit more mystical. Okay, so now this is no longer a timed item, it's just the odd potion. And now we have access to the blue potion, which the only time I find that particularly necessary is whenever you are fighting Ganondorf at the end, because you will not get through that boss fight without having extra magic. And it's only 100 rupees a piece, so it's just a good thing to have. That's the only time I can really say that I've needed to have that in my inventory. But I think I will give the blue fire. I'll go melt King Zora real quick. Have I ever been down this hole before? No, I have not. Okay. So, a really easy way to get rupees is to give a fish to the beggar, which relocates from Hyrule Castle to Ocarina Village. And it's kind of funny to think exactly, you can kind of, all the throwaway characters have become, I guess, essentially become the Redeads. And we'll just go ahead and, I guess, get that too. We'll give him a bug and this. We want to keep the blue fire because we did pay for it. He's not going to give you what it's worth, so. But basically all the throwaway low polygon count characters, and thank God that the Bomb Chew girl, she's a zombie now, which I am perfectly okay with because I hated that fucking minigame. I'll take a crack at that arrow shooting gallery that's moved over there when I have the bow, because you'll actually get something other than rupees, which I essentially find useless unless it's an instance like this. So, no, okay. Luckily, I think you can grab the fish. Yeah, we can grab this. I don't know why I didn't give it to him. It's important to the rupees, so now we have enough to get 2 blue potions if we want. Which I think I will, just in case I happen to need them, because I think even the Volvagia fight can get a little hairy. But I never find the need to have a fairy, because the fairy, in my opinion, is for people that are completely careless. As long as you have the first 3 Zeldas make it pretty clear when your health is low with that really annoying beeping tone. So, I'd rather have something I can manage. Money, I also don't have enough empty bottles, so. Okay, so I think we've pretty much exhausted everything here that I can think of off the top of my head. I know there's some more Skulltulas and stuff, but you cannot get them without the long shot. You can always go up Death Mountain if you want and get the Balrog Fire and the Fire Ticket, but that's completely pointless at this point. You can actually go through the entirety of the Fire Temple without the bow and arrow if you so choose. A lot of times, like when I was younger, when I was absolutely terrified of the Force of its music and just atmosphere, I would just do the Fire Temple first. So we'll go here and we'll just go ahead and empty out that bottle of that blue fire. Okay, and there's a lot of Skulltulas that are laying around as Adult Link, but they all need almost all of them need the long shot because they're just out of reach. So we'll hop off here. How many Skulltulas do we have? I really forgot. 34. So basically, we really got 16 that we're shooting for to get that heart piece, and after that, I think that I will scour quite as hard for them, because after that, once you hit 100, you're going to get pretty much an infinite rupee supply, which you don't need. There's no reason to have rupees in this game. Everything you need is in the grass. Now, I want to see what the Stone of Agony has to say about this. Okay, the controller's vibrating. We'll see here if it's the Song of Storms that opens up this hole. It's gotta be. Okay, so it was. So let's see what's down this hole. That's stupid. I can't imagine this being particularly useful. Unless you're gonna do something else. So what do you have? A green potion? No, I don't need a green potion. What do you have? A red potion. Well, I guess that's good to know if you need a supply of green and red potions like on the go, but you know, you have that available at the potion shop. What a wasted grotto. Anyway, we can completely bypass this entire area now that we have this. So let's take a little ride here. I'm about to get so distracted. I guess this will fill out the episode a little bit. But I just remembered that because we planted the, and of course there's our first opportunity to see a sculpture that's out of our reach. It's when it becomes officially nighttime. I think we could maybe be able to get it. Yeah, we might be able to just barely get it, but almost all of these require the long shot to get. And because the camera wants to swap because we're switching zones, that's going to be extremely aggravating. But let's see if we can just barely get it. I think we might be able to get just right into his hitbox and kill it. And we just barely got it. Okay, cool. So that puts us at 35, 15 more to go. Very, very obtainable. God, that camera is just it's very irritating. We can go ahead and melt King Zora, get the Zora tunic, and do a little non-cheaty costume switch up. And then we can go through Lake Hylia and quickly get the gold scale and do all the stuff that's there that we wouldn't be able to do normally unless the lake was full because we planted the beam, and then we can head straight on into the Lost Woods. And we also need to teach Pierre, or remind Pierre of the Scarecrow song that we made up. So it all just kind of fits for me what I'm about to do. So, we could do the ice cavern right now if we wanted to and go ahead and get the iron boots, but mainly I just wanted to empty out this bottle. But now that I'm here, I'm going to do a couple other things too. The ice cavern serves as a nice tutorial and will explain to you how blue fire melts red ice, but knowing what I know, I always kind of carry one fin from childhood to adulthood just to go ahead and get this out of the way. And I'm really sad that this area never melts, because you can save Kokiri Forest. I don't understand why they couldn't do a simple palette swap back to the Zoras being alive, but let's just try this on for size. I like that. Blue. Nice, it's easy on the eyes. I'll wear that until I get tired of it. Probably, I'm already tired of it. I generally will always used to wear the red tunic because they made me feel like the biggest badass to wear that. But just sculpture right here we can get done. And I think this is gonna hurt us, but oh, actually now that I think about it, we can't reach Lake Hylia this way anymore. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and... No, I need... Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I hate going through this area without that shit. I really do. Okay, for the sake of, you know, I just really can't stand that Moblin puzzle because it feels a little cheap at times how they're able to detect you. So I'm going to go straight to Lake Hylia, the fastest way that I know of, now that that's frozen over. I just find it hilarious how you're so tall basically can't swim here anymore, hardly, except for at the very bottom. And it hit me a couple times. Oh, let's take a heart apiece? That's insane. Okay, so we're just gonna take a little trek down to Lake Hylia, and then we'll go straight to the Lost Woods from there, and get into the Lost Woods and call it a day. Now, I don't know if it's just was playing through Breath of the Wild, but I feel satisfied seeing Link in his green tunic more so than I ever have. I would always switch straight to a different color because I got so sick of the green, but now I've got a new appreciation for it. So we'll go down to Lake Hylia. Activate the Scarecrow song. I think it was left and a bunch of downs or down and a bunch of lefts. I can't even remember anymore. But I know I kept it simple. Sometimes I would make it like the Elegy of Emptiness, but as you can see, the Poe is scared of you while you're on Epona, and this would be the time you would shoot it to collect its ghost. But we don't even have the bow yet, so that's completely locked off from us right now. Now, I hate that shortcut is taken away from you. And I think this is the first time I've actually approached this naturally, so we might get the intro cutscene, but, you know. So aggravating. I wish that shortcut would reopen, because that's such a useful shortcut, but then you have the warp songs. I'm just not crazy about the multiple warp songs thing, I'm really not. I like that it's just one Majora's Mask that takes you everywhere you selected on a map instead of having to play each individual melody. Give me some hearts, give me some hearts. I'm so OCD, I can't stand having less than 4 hearts for no particular reason. Never give me what I need. Okay, so we'll just ride this baby up. By the time it gets back, because you're definitely... Oh, you can also get Pierre to get you up here too, so I guess the beam planet is a necessity. Why the enemy music didn't start playing whenever that approached me, I don't know, because those are some of the most aggressive, annoying enemies in the game. I bet another one's waiting for me at the top too. I mean, it's just that one good. I hate those crows. Okay, so we're almost got another heart. I'm trying to remember if there's another heart piece. It's like nearby. Yeah, we can get the one from the bottom here whenever we complete the Scarecrow. I mean, not the Scarecrow, but the fishing minigame up here for the second time. And come back to the laboratory and touch the bottom. But the whole not having water thing is mitigated by having that plant. Hey, Mr. And one funny thing you can do, I know, I'm sure you know, you can catch his hat and he's completely bald underneath. Well, do you want to go fishing? It costs only 20 rupees. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more difficult because as the fish get heavier, they become more resistant, their AI a little bit more savvy, but the same strategy that I used before should work. Just go out here to the middle of the lake, and since we're taller, we don't have to worry about really... Okay, so we're going to go for this fish, and hopefully we can get on the first try. He's a lot more resistant to wanting to be caught, and I don't know if there's like an interest algorithm or whatever, but if you do this too many times and he becomes disinterested, he will swim to the bottom of the lake and make this much more aggravating. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Because that's our biggest fish in the pond, up to the Hylian Loach, so we just want to go ahead and catch him. Go for it, go for it. You want it, you want it. You're not the biggest fish, okay? And sometimes you'll lure smaller fish into that zone. You definitely don't want that, because once you catch a fish near him, you're going to scare him off into the bottom of the pond. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. God. And there's a tiny fish just waiting right there in the wings to throw you off. Come on. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Come on. Just go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it. like I said, there's some kind of internal interest meter we're trying to build up to where he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He just goes for it. It's kind of got like a flounder thing going on because of the low polygon count. It's like the eyes are so close together, but come on. Just bite the thing. Just bite the thing. Just bite it. Bite it. Come on. Oh god, this is so irritating. This is on. I can't think of a better strategy than to be on the log. Yes! Mine. Okay. So this is how we'll get our gold skill. As long as he doesn't lose interest, because when he's this size, he very easily loses interest in you. I'm so close to him that it's just basically a matter of getting him within range and pulling him up out of the water. He is like literally 2 feet away from me. He's just so strong. And honestly, all you have to do is hold back on the control stick and keep the A held down. But he should be hooked. And he shouldn't really be able to get away, but the game thinks so. Come on, come to me, motherfucker. Come to me so you can be trapped in the fucking glass case. Come on. Come on. Christ, bananas. This is way harder than it needs to be. And see how far away from me he's gotten? Can you imagine like doing this legitimately, like from the shore or whatever? Like this, I could not see this being possible. And after a certain amount of time, he will let go. And if he does that, I'll just save this for later because it essentially leads to the heart piece. On. I'm gonna try switching it up. As powerful as Link proves himself to be, especially when he gets the silver and gold gauntlets, you'd think this would be a piece of fucking cake. But the game doesn't adhere to that so much. I'm feeling less vibration, so God, this sucks. This really sucks. I really wanted to fish. I'm supposed to come back to it later. Whatever, just give me a fish. I usually feel like I get that on the first try. Sucks. And if this worked like actual fishing, fish don't just lose interest and unhook themselves from your lure. That's bullshit. Anyway, just come back to this later. Now we've established we can go back to this, and I don't care. Just go. This feels like a complete waste of time, but I can't undo it. So, not bad with the bigger fish in there. I don't want to God, that's so disappointing. But I guess this isn't a complete waste of time because just go over here and get access to the other scarecrow. Okay. And now we have access to Pierre. So that'll give us a lot of circumvention and sculpturism. It's a great thing to have. So now we've got that, we can head on back to Lost Woods and just kind of bypass that entire moblin sequence because I just don't care for it at all. Where did opponents spawn from? Okay, there we go. I'm glad that they fixed that in later games. They didn't fix it with Majora's Mask, but they fixed it to where you can take damage on the horse, because the horse essentially makes you invincible. Okay. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, put to sleep, shit. Okay. How much speed do you need to come at this this thing would. Okay, to the Lost Woods we go. Worst feeling in the world. Make it stop. Oh. Alright, just make our way to the Lost Woods. God, I wish modding community, I wish there was something more to do in this field. Like, I could never figure out open source Zelda. At least I never had the time to, but please, somebody go in here and make Hyrule feel more interesting, because I know that with emulation, with this, the engine could totally handle it. I need to go find that modded version of Zelda and get it. I want it now. Okay, we can go here, we can get the poacher saw, and essentially make the Skull Kid a viable enemy here. I want to see if those rupees respawn. We can see that from up here on the side. No, those rupees don't even oh, there they are, yeah. Okay, so that's cool. So you essentially just more and more rupee drops. Yay. Okay, so we'll give that to her, and she will disappear forever from the game as Adult Link. Creepy little blonde girl. And you'll get the poacher saw, which you can use later on when you feel like going to Gerudo Valley. Anybody who comes in, and this kind of feeds into that theory that once Link returns from Majora's Mask, he becomes that Stalfos creature from Twilight Princess, which I think is neat. But we get the poacher saw, and we have no idea. I can't think of a good indication of where that needs. Oh yeah, okay, it belongs, because if you're paying attention, you know, if you kind of put the pieces together, I guess you can realize that the sun that that wanders around all day long and you never see as a child ends up being the son of the carpenter. So if you were kind of looking out for him, you can imply that he's the carpenter's son, so the poacher saw needs to go back to him. Okay, so this gets us through here, and Mido will kind of remain in the Lost Woods, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because, you know, that'll turn him into a Stalfos, but continuity, it's not important here. So now we've got access to this part of the Lost Woods again. And it is not nighttime, so that Skulltula won't be here. So I guess we'll go down this hole, and since this will be our point of entry, this will spawn us at nighttime here, so we'll get that Skulltula that we got for that magic bean. They could have done so much more with that magic bean thing, because oh, I thought that would give me a spawn point. Oh, it'll only take me a second to get back here. That's just the stuff of dreams, isn't it? Okay, so now we can get this Skulltula that's up here. That's ours. That puts us at 37, I think. Yeah. Progress to, shit. I think it's this way. And then going in here, and there's this awful sequence here. Well, it's not completely awful. I mean, it's completely manageable, but I just don't like doing it. So, Navi will tell us again about using Z targeting to go through the narrow paths, even though she's done that before. But kind of implying again that this will be useful in this location, and it really is if you want to do it the traditional way. Otherwise, you're going to get completely owned by these moblins with the spears. So if you immediately take our advice, you see this guy here, and he just looks jolly. He just looks like he wants to have a cup of tea with you, but we are not playing this game. So. Okay, so we're just going to get Pierre to let us cheat. I am not doing this, so boom. done and done. And anytime that Navi just hovers at around a green space in the middle of nothing, that's usually a Pierre spawn point. So we completely bypass this section. Can't stand it at all. Okay, and here's the one section we actually have to kind of go with. So just kind of get right behind him, and then he becomes completely immobilized. You don't have to kill him, but I just always get a great satisfaction knowing that I can just get rid of this asshole. And he gives us 20 rupees. And we go up the stairs and we learn our first warp song. These are some of my favorite sequences in the game where you kind of interact with Sheik, because I always just love Sheik's design and the mystique around him. And really, it is kind of a letdown that he's just a throwaway character, that he's just Zelda, you know. Like there's that one sequence later on in the game where you learn the Nocturne of Shadow, and like he's like, I'll just take care of the village, I'll be a badass, you know. There's just so much, you know. He has all these like interesting conversations, you know, about the flow of time and the nature of friendship and family, and just, you know, he really feels like a wasted character. He feels like the Boba Fett of the Zelda universe. But anywho, here's our first warp song. I think I really use this one the least. I probably use the Bolero of Fire most because it's more of a hub center. Okay, so that's ours. Okay, now that we have this warp song, we can come back here at any time we want to. Of course, we'll have to remember it. Again, I really wish that you just had the Song of Soaring, but it's a different game. But you can come back here, you know, if you ignored Sheik's advice and came here without the hook shot, you'll have a shortcut back here. Okay, so now that hook shot's range is super duper short. The good thing about Zelda Dungeons again, I can naturally save here and just call it a day. But there you go. We're in the Forest Temple, my favorite Zelda temple by far, and we'll call it there.